In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to use Bonusbank's ATM software. So to begin with, we'll take a look at the ATM Lite, which is our free version of the software, which is included with our free account. So the idea of the free version of the software is just to help you get started, but it's going to be very limited on the number of bookies, number of markets and sports, etc. that you can look at. So therefore, you're not going to get as much value, but you can definitely get started with it. So if we jump over to filters and we look at the sports, we've got Aussie rules, basketball, rugby league and soccer. And then if we go over to markets, we got the match odds and over and under 2.5 goals. And then the two bookmakers that are included will be Ladbrokes and Tab. So they're two of the main bookies that you'll start with when you first start match betting. So we'll jump back down to the ATM now, and we've currently got it sorted by the best SNR value. So this would be to convert your bonus bets. So for the Liverpool versus West Ham in the match odds, Tab are currently offering odds of 6 on the draw, and the Betfair lay odds are 6.4. And therefore, for every $100 worth of bonus bets that you turn over at Tab, you'll be able to convert it into $74.13. And if you wanted to look at some mug bets, you could toggle through the SR value. And again, you're going to have all your different values here to look at. So you can see the limitations there, but as we jump up through the subscriptions, you're going to get more markets available, more bookies, more sports, and therefore a lot more value. And we'll also now show you how you can customize the ATM to suit your needs, and we'll look through the filters as well, and we'll show you what all the columns can do and what they all mean. So we're now in our Pro subscription, and just to give you a quick example of what is included, once we go into the filters and we select sport, you can see there's a lot more sports to choose from, and with the markets you're going to have lots more to choose from as well. And then again, if we come over to the bookmakers, there's a whole heap of bookies to choose from as well. And if we scroll down, you can see there's a lot better values here. There's even some ARBs and things like that, which obviously we wouldn't recommend taking on a new account, but it just goes to show you the extra value that you're getting as you move up through the subscriptions. So we're on our Pro sub here, but the Pro and Plus subscriptions are going to be pretty similar on the ATM, as a lot of the extra markets in the Pro subscription are not layable at Betfair. So they're going to be more relevant when you're looking at your value betting software, middle software and things like that. So we'll now have a look at some of the customization and what you can do with the ATM. So starting from the top, you've got the refresh button here. So this is the manual refresh, and you can select that. And if any of the odds need updating, you can see it's done a few updates there. Or you can also use the auto refresh as well. So if you toggle that on, it will auto refresh every 1 minute. Next, you can toggle between the light and the dark mode. So I prefer the dark mode, but if you select it, you've got the light mode as well there if you prefer that. Next, you have the commission discount. So if you're lucky enough to have a commission discount at Betfair, you can select from the drop down menu here. So if you had a 50% discount, you can now see all the values have changed, so they've all gone up and they're going to be relevant to your discount. Next, we have the stakes. As we discussed earlier, the default stake is set to 100. So that's going to mean that these SR columns and SNR columns can be viewed as percentages. But if you did want to change it to say $50, you can select 50 in there, and now these will change relative to your stake. So next, before we discuss the filters, we will talk about the columns. So they're all going to be pretty much self-explanatory, but there is some nice little things you can do with them as well. So obviously the date's nice and self-explanatory, but if you click on the date down here on one of the selections, it will change it into a countdown timer view. So if you prefer that, you can always go with that option. Next, you've got the sport, and the sport will be represented by a different icon. That's just going to save a bit of room rather than writing the whole sport down. Next, you'll have the league. So obviously a lot of them are the Masters at the moment as it's starting today. But if you scroll through, you've got the Argentinian Premier Division, Turkish League. Then we have the event. So it'll be the US Masters there. But then if we scroll down again, you've got all these different matches. So you've got Liverpool, West Ham, and so on. Next, you've got the relevant market that you're going to want to be looking at. So you've got top 5 finish, match odds. The next column will be your selection. So that's what you're going to want to be backing at the bookie and then laying at Betfair. The next column will just be the bookmaker. So you've got a nice little symbol for each bookmaker there. And then as discussed earlier, we've got the back and the lay odds. So the back odds will be for the bookie odds, and then the red odds here will be the lay odds at Betfair. And the cool thing here as well is if we select the back odds here, the US Masters at Neds. So you've got the top 5 finish. If we select the odds there, it will open Neds. And then you can just navigate to the market from there. So it's nice and simple. And if we head back and we do the same thing with the lay odds, now it's going to open the relevant market at Betfair. So you've got the top 5 finish here. And if we go back, you see the market was the top 5 finish. So that's just a nice, easy way to navigate through. We've discussed the SR and SNR values here. But the great thing about these values as well, you can click on them again. So if we click on this top one, and that's going to bring up the calculator for this selection. And this will give you the exact amount you need to match at Betfair. And another thing you can do here is you can actually click on the selection and it will copy it to your clipboard. And that way you can just paste it over to Betfair. So that just makes it nice and simple again. And then it'll have all your different information you need as well. So you've got your liability at Betfair and the amount you're going to profit or lose. And you can do exactly the same thing for the SNR value as well. And this time it will open the SNR calculator. The last column here, we've got the liquidity. So this will be the amount ready to be matched at Betfair. So for this selection, JJ Spawn and the top 5 finish, there's currently $80 ready to be matched at odds of 21 at Betfair. And the other thing you can do down here with the columns, if you come up to the top left-hand corner, you can select or deselect any of these columns. So if you just wanted to look at the SNR value and you wanted to get rid of the SR value, you can just deselect the SR and now you'll just have all the SNR values. So you can customize that to how you want. And then the other thing you can do as well, you can make these columns bigger or smaller by just dragging the bar up here. And you can also change where the columns are as well. So if you wanted the sport to be the first column, you just click and drag the sport over here and then it will switch it with a date. And you can do that with all the different columns and just customize it to how you want. And then the last thing we've got down in the ATM down here is the quick filter. So if we come up to the search bar here and you're looking for a particular bookie, let's say Bet365, you can start typing that in and it's going to give you all the markets for Bet365. Or you can do it for whatever you really want to do. So if you just wanted to look at the, say, Real Madrid selections, you can do that. So that's a really nice, easy way just to navigate through a few different markets as well. So that's pretty much it for the ATM down here. We'll now take a look at the filters. So again, we've already pretty much discussed all these filters and they're all self-explanatory. You've got the sport, league, market, event. And if you click on any of these, you can just select whichever you want. Then we have bookmaker, bet. You've got the days to the event here. So if we selected 2 days, that's just going to show you all the selections for the next 2 days. And then you've got the hours as well, which you can change if you need to. Then we've got the min and max back odds at the bookie. So you can filter these. So if we wanted to look at selections that were min odds of say 1.4 up into 3, it will now change that nice and quickly down in the ATM. You can do the exact same thing with delay odds as well if you need to. And then you've got the min SR rating down here. So if you wanted to look for values that are better than -3%, you can just put that there and it will show you all the different values. There is a couple of ARBs there at the moment, but if we scroll down, you can see it's got everything that's greater than -3%. And then it will be the same thing with the SNR rating as well, but we'd have to get rid of this max back odds. Or you could put, say, the max back odds of 20, and then you want an SNR rating of minimum of 70, and it's going to do the same thing down here. And you can toggle through those. And then lastly, you've got the minimum liquidity. So you can put whatever you want in there. So next we'll take a look at the filter manager. So with the filter manager, you can save as many different filters as you want. So currently we're looking at selections that have quite a good SNR values. So, and then you could add more to the filters up here if you wanted. So if you just wanted, say, soccer games, let's say rugby league. You can make this as complex as you want or as simple as you want. It's entirely up to you. And then once you've done that, you'd select the filter manager and then you can just name your filter whatever you want. So if you wanted, say, bonus bets, you just type that in, select save, you can come back out. And then you can make as many filters as you wanted. So if we reset filters and then we just wanted to find some mug bets, say between odds of 1.5 and 4 with a minimum SR value of -3. And then again, you can chuck whatever sports in or whatever you want. And you just come up to filter manager again. This time we'll call it mug bets, hit save filter. And you can make as many as you want and you can just toggle through them nice and easily. So if we want to go back to the bonus bets, select bonus bets and you can see how quickly that changes for us. So that is pretty much it for the ATM. You can see how nice and customizable it is and how quick everything works. And it's really nice and easy to use. So hopefully you enjoyed the video and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.